This is the 217 Recovery Podcast with Corey Winfield.
Yeah, it's me. I was just calling to see what you hung up on me for, bro. Give me a call back. Bye.
10th of November, 2020. This is the 217 Recovery Podcast. My name is Corey Winfield. Joining me is very lovely, very beautiful, very talented Marney Liston.
Hello.
Is it 32 more days? Is all you can...
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Gotta practice saying my name, I guess.
Yeah, 32 more days before you're not going to be Marney Liston any longer.
I know.
How does that make you feel?
It makes me feel good.
It's not scary?
Not really. More just like it's going to take some getting used to, I think.
Interesting. I wonder if that's a big deal for women.
I mean, I've noticed like a lot of my, when I've kept up with people from high school, you know, who've gotten married and I can't find them, you know, or they'll pop up as being somebody who knows somebody, friends of friends. And I actually really have to look at the picture. So I'm like, I don't know that, you know, I don't know that name. So do you lose like your identity? I don't think so. I think it's a respectful way to kind of express your connection with, you know, another person, and I'm all for it.
Now, wasn't it back in the day when they decided to make this kind of thing happen back in 100,000 BC? Wasn't it like more of a your mind possession kind of thing?
I would imagine so. I've never really looked into the, you know, history of changing names or, you know, I guess when you start a obviously because your children have to have a last name and a family unit. Like
the child is the man's.
Mm-hmm. Well,
it's ownership.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying that I believe that. No, I believe it's two people in love, and the child is theirs, and then they grow up, and then they hate us, and then they call us names, and then they put us in old folks' home. But at least they'll be there to do that.
Right.
I hope.
Well, people have different feelings about it, you know, and I know a lot of women who've kept their last name or did the whole, you know, dash. You know.
So what's more annoying to you? The thought of like billions of years ago, it was like an ownership thing and you're falling right into that. Or the noise of the dryer. I don't know if the mics are picking it up.
Oh.
But we're in the studio and the dryer.
I don't know. I've gotten used to it.
Just rambling on. It's just brrr. So if you do hear that, that's our studio. And that's just what happens when we want to dry our clothes.
Right.
Yeah. Normally we do stop it, but whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So what names, when you were a young child and growing up into teenage years, into a young woman and into a young adult, into where you are now today, what names have kept you from dating people? Like if you ran into a guy and you're like, oh, what's your name? My name's Kip. Oh, Kip. Oh, I love you. You're so hot. You're sexy.
Right.
What's your last name? Dick.
That's a good point. I think that people's names, I mean, even when you're scarred sometimes by people, like you knew somebody whose name was something. And so from that point on, it's just, there's no chance that you would ever choose that name for someone that you actually care about.
What if you met this guy? He was so beautiful. His name's Sebastian. Oh, his gorgeous long hair. His last name's Chucklebutt.
Right.
Like, would that do it? Would you be like, can't do it?
I know.
There's no way.
Are you
I'm not
sure
be
that's
Marney
really?
Chucklebutt.
I know.
Or Marney
right?
Dick. Or, you know.
Like run the other direction. I don't know. No, I've never actually even gotten that far into finding somebody that I would be worried that.
But you've never seen the last name and thought, oh my God. Like,
I mean, I thought like that would be, no, just by meeting people and having their last name be like, that's impossible to even pronounce, let alone spell. So that would be difficult having to deal with that. I've thought that before, but.
See, women have so much pressure. There's so much more that women have to deal with.
Yeah.
And then, like, the way drinking takes its toll on a woman's body is so much harsher than it is on men's. At least according to that documentary with those mean kids.
Yeah, but maybe
life
women
is
can.
Betty.
It makes us. I mean, we're strong, so you just don't even know.
Trying to think of another name, but you know what? That's besides the point. Congratulations, and you got
Thank
like 32 more days.
Yeah.
So enjoy it. Enjoy your last days as a listing.
I think I'm excited.
Now Winfield, you think, well, that's a pretty easy name to say. It's really not. And you'll know what I'm saying. And the first time it happens, and you're just gonna go, he's right again. No, at Winfield. Winfield. I mean, it's pretty easy, but you'll get Winefield, Wingfield, Wangfield.
Yeah, but people do that with every name.
Oh no! You'll see some, and you'll be like, "How does that even?" And they email me when I worked on radio, and my email was CoreyWinfield@iHeartMedia.com. And she printed out. She's emailed me the confirmation, and then we get there, and there's Corey Winefield. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" And my coworker friend Steve just started laughing, and he loves it. He still calls me Corey Windshield, and
Nobody ever says your first name wrong. I get people say my first name wrong all the time. People say Marty all the time.
Marty, yeah,
All the time. Marley. Marty. But and then I've gotten Linston a lot. If I say my name, they'll spell it wrong. So it happens.
Well, we'll have to tell the story one day, or maybe I'll let you tell it.
Okay.
Maybe with my mom and sister, or your sister, your mom, I don't know. Story when you fell in love.
Okay.
Aw, sorry.
Getting all gushy on this episode.
Well, I mean, why not? I just came to my mind. But the open is what that was my friend Matt. The one who's like, "Oh, just want to know why you hung up on me, bro." I didn't hang up. I think I lost service, but he took that as me hanging up on him. Mm-hmm. Called me back, but yeah. Matt, I hope he's doing all right. Last time I heard he was. So Matt was one of the people, the original guys in 217 Recovery. He was the guy that was in the room with me. Mm-hmm. And it was me, Rob, Matt, and Matt was involved with some funny moments in treatment. And Matt was very kind of standoffish. He was very quiet. Mm-hmm. And when I got in the room, it was like, I think he kind of broke out of his shell a little bit, and he embraced the uncomfortable. And I really liked that about Matt. I remember one time, like we'd play this game on Saturdays or Sundays, I can't remember. We had this instructor, Will. He would come, and people would say, "Oh, his are so boring." And I really liked Will, and he was very enlightening. And it just if you could pay attention for a minute and listen to what he was trying to tell you, it helped me understand a lot of things. And I really liked Will's groups. And like I said, the other people were like, "Oh, I fall asleep." So we thought, this would be a perfect time to kind of wake people up. So we started playing our 217 game, where I would give Rob a word, Rob would give me a word, and we would give Matt a word, or vice versa. And Matt didn't really want to play that often, but the one time he did, we were having breakfast, and on Saturday we got sausage, and Sunday we got bacon, or vice versa. But whatever the bacon day was, Matt was like, "Oh, I want to play." And I was like, "Well, here's what we're going to do, man." I was like, take a couple pieces of bacon, wrap them up in a napkin, and then put the napkin in your pants, like just in your pocket. And then when it's your turn to speak, because they would sometimes pass around like this feather. When it was your turn, you'd get this feather passed, and everybody was supposed to pay attention. You had the feather.
Yeah.
Or they would do a rock sometimes. Pass the stone. And so I told Matt, to take the feather, rock, whatever, put it down, then pull out his own little icon.
Satchel of bacon.
Yeah, so he pulls out his bacon. I was like, and then, you got to, like, whoever you're talking to, you got to point the bacon at him, and the bacon was limp, so it was like, but he did. And first he was like, yeah, I'll do that. And right before the group started, he comes up to me and he's like, "Man, I don't think I can do it, Corey." And I was like, "Matt, you're going back on your word, dog, like, this is gonna be great. Like people are gonna go, what in the F was that? I was like, it's gonna be wonderful, dude. And he's like, no, I can't do it. It's like, all right, man. So 3 minutes later, he comes back to me. He's like, you know what? I gave you my word. I said it. I'll do it. I'm doing it.
Nice.
And I was like, that's what I'm talking about, man. And see, those are the ways. And some people just might go, Corey, that's stupid. But, those are the things that I think can really help people, move forward in recovery. Whereas, before he would never do something like that. He would just sit there and he wouldn't share. Well, he shared that day. And normally he would just, just, my name's Matt, pass, whatever. Mm-hmm. But that day he actually shared, and he had to share. Mm-hmm. And it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen. It got around to him. He takes the feather, puts it on the counter, goes in his pocket with his left hand, pulls out the bacon, just calmly unwraps it. People are looking at him like, what's going on? He takes the bacon out. He said, all right, it's all because of, and he's like, you and blah, blah, and he's pointing the bacon, like I said, it's limp, so it's like, it's like a wand, but it's not, and people are just laughing. Oh, I was dying. And then he does and everybody in here, so he goes, does like around the world with the bacon above his head, and then he's like, that's what I got today. And he takes a bite of it, puts it back in the napkin, folds it all back up, puts it back in his pocket, passes the feather, like that was normal.
Nice.
And oh my God, I was dying. And this chick that was sitting next to me, she wouldn't even pay attention. She was mad nobody was hitting on her. And she, did I miss something? And I was like, not you. Sure didn't. You didn't miss anything. But yeah, it was funny. It was one of those moments. So like I said, that it really kind of broke him out of his shell a little bit. And it was awesome. It's a moment that I'll remember forever with Matt. And, there's many, many moments actually that I would share with Matt that I'll remember forever. So yeah, so I got that voicemail, and when I was going down memory lane the other day, deleting voicemails, I came across that one, and I thought, man, that would be a good one to throw in there, and maybe I could tell a little Matt story.
Nice.
A recovery Matt story.
Nice. Well, talking about sharing, I was actually talking with an individual today, and he was reflecting on how, and this is just his personal opinion, how he felt like he was more comfortable in NA meetings than AA meetings. Okay. And this is his DOC, drug of choice, is irrelevant, really. And what I'm about to say is, he said that, and for whatever reason, because every meeting is every AA meeting is different from another AA meeting, and every NA meeting is different, and what have you. But he was saying, in his experience, that overall, he felt a pressure. He felt more pressure when he was in AA meetings to have to share. And, we talked about it, and I said, that might just be that particular meeting that you were in. Maybe you should, if you feel like you connect more, is it about the pathway, or is it about, that certain group, or, who the facilitator that leads it and what have you. And I said, you know what, forget it. After about 15 minutes of, having this conversation, which it was a good conversation. We were kind of just like bouncing things off of each other, ideas and thoughts about things. And I said, you know what, as long as you're comfortable, it doesn't matter. We're not even debating, which one's which, or which you get the most out of, or which one's been around longer. And there's all kinds of reasons why, people fit into, more comfortably into certain, group settings than others. But, he's like, because I love to share. He's like, I love sharing. He's like, but I want to feel like I want to share. I want, some days I'm just not feeling it. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know, maybe he got put on a spot, some kind of way in one group or something. And then, stumbled and felt awkward, and, just doesn't want to have to feel that way. Especially when you're going to these meetings to feel good. And I think it kind of went the reverse for him that particular day. And so he kind of had a bad taste in his mouth about the whole thing. But, we talked it over and came out on the other side of it, that I said, go for whatever meeting is good for you. And I think that's an important thing for people to know, is that, this is about you and your progress, and where you're going to flourish and where you feel more comfortable. That's where you belong,
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah, it could be Smart Recovery. It could be Dharma. I mean,
yeah.
Check them out. And if you're not sure about AA or NA, explore other pathways. Mm-hmm. There's a list of a few of the pathways at 217recovery.com.